Hello, viewers. This is Dr. Kamar Chima with another episode of NHS Media. Viewers, today's conversation is about that why Iran attacked Pakistan. Then the second question I will address is why Pakistan responded. Shall Pakistan should have stayed silent, or Pakistan would have responded the way it responded? Then uh, there are some people in Pakistan, particularly some retired uh, diplomats, which are saying that Pakistan responded to Iran because US and Israel asked. That's also what I will address. And I will also address a question that has China and Turkey intervened in this? And in the end, I will talk about that what is the way forward for Pakistan and Iran. First, let me answer that why Iran did this. There are a few theories which you need to understand. One, there has been militants which have been operating across Pakistan and Iran border, and there have been attacks in Iran. So the Iranian authorities might have understood that Iran shall respond to Pakistan militarily to give a message, and that message can only be given militarily because all political and diplomatic channels have exhausted. That could be the one theory which the Iranians were thinking. Secondly, they might have thought that if Indians and Americans violated Pakistan's sovereignty, we shall also do this, and it may not harm maybe the bilateral relations. Also, that's a very weak link. The third thing Iranians might have the third theory or the third point you say that why Iranians attacked was that Ayatollah Khamenei and the military leadership, the IRGC, they are under huge pressure. And that pressure is the promises which they have made to the Muslim communities or to the Muslims in the Middle East, particularly in Iraq, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Yemen, in many other countries, to all those Shiite population that they can take a revenge from Israel. But in reality, they have failed to respond or they have failed to do anything regarding Israel, and more than 30,000 Palestinians in Gaza have been killed. So there is a pressure, they are under pressure, and they couldn't deliver on those lines for which they promises. So the entire theological state of Iran is on the basis that Iran can respond to the United States and Israel militarily, and they have failed to do so. So, on the other point, the Iranians might have thought that with this, they can boost the national confidence. They can give value to the government. Then the point is that much of the decisions, such kind of decisions of using military against other countries, they are taken by the hawks in Iran, the hawks in the shape of IRGC, deep state, or the ulama. And who has to defend all these things? The Iranian government, which is an elected government, they have to defend all kind of things. So the deep state, the ulama might have kept these things in mind, maybe when they targeted Pakistan. Now there is a question why Pakistan responded. The first thing is Pakistan had no choice but to restore deterrence. Otherwise, things would not have been in control. The second point is there was a lot of pressure from the political actors, particularly Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, a party which is controlled, which is run by former Prime Minister Imran Khan, who has been pressurizing, whose party has been pressurizing the military, that the military only targets the politicians. The military only keeps in jail the politicians, and they cannot target India and Iran. So they were raising conspiracy theories in that. So there was a pressure, in fact, on the military on these lines as well. Although the decision which the military took, that was purely professional decision. That was purely in terms of in the idea of sovereignty. That was purely in the sense that Iran shall be taught a lesson that they shall never think of using a military option next time. But that was also a point. So there is stored deterrence. Some of the voices which were trying to pressurize or build a narrative on social media that the Pakistani military is unable to do the professional work for which they are trained. The third thing which I believe that the why military responded, they believe that the region and the international community is watching. And Pakistan shall tell Iranians that Pakistan is not Syria or Iraq or any other country in the Middle East to whom the Iranians might be thinking that even if they attack them, they won't respond. So in reality, the Pakistani army or the Pakistan responded in the spirit of territorial integrity, in the spirit of sovereignty, and the most important thing is the Pakistani military knew these targets long ago. But normally, looking at the bilateral relations between both the countries, they never exercise the military option, knowing that the relationship can deteriorate. So, for example, when the Pakistani military targeted, the Iranian media and the Iranian authorities accepted that these precision based targets have only been on those places where there are non Iranian people. It means they are saying that Pakistan targeted the Baloch Liberation Army, they targeted the Baloch Liberation Front, or the militant organizations which are targeting the Pakistani state and society. So the Pakistani knew that whatever they are doing, it was just a retaliation. And this is not an offensive against the Iranian authorities. The third question is, shall Pakistan have stayed silent? And there are people who are saying that Pakistan is doing it on the behest of the Americans and Israelis. I think this conspiracy theories is a very poor conspiracy theories that Pakistan is doing this because of the Americans. The Americans the Americans did say that Iran should not have done that. But in fact, the Americans have nothing to do when it comes to respecting the sovereignty of Pakistan. So Pakistan military did it purely for the national interest, for protecting the sovereignty and protecting the territorial integrity of the country. So those people who are saying that Pakistan did it for getting dollars from the United States, I think that's a very poor explanation of this entire story that has happened in few days. So the retired Pakistani ambassadors, I can mention the former Foreign Secretary, I think Shamshad Ahmed. He told in the media that it is the Israel and the Americans which forced them. And had I been the Foreign Secretary, or had I been in the Foreign Office, I would have never let them do this. But Mr. Shamshad Ahmed should know, who is very close to Prime Minister Imran Khan, who has been following his line. And unfortunately, majority of our diplomats, when they are out of office, they get hawk, they follow conspiracy theories, and they always try to let down the state. But when they are in power, when they are at the helm of the affairs, they can't do anything. So this conspiracy theory, I think that doesn't hold a value. Then the next point is that did China and Turkey help cool down the situation? I personally believe the Iranians did know the consequences of this. So before, when the Iranians strike Pakistan, Pakistan immediately expelled the Iranian ambassador from Islamabad. So that was a clear signaling that if Iran does not want to engage Pakistan in a diplomatic way, then what is the point to have an ambassador? So they expelled the ambassador who already was who already had left the country. He knew this is going to happen. And the Iranian authorities knew that if the ambassador would be there, he will be summoned in the Foreign Office, and that could be an embarrassment. So let the charge d'affaires deal all kind of an embarrassment. So, in my understanding, the Iranian side approached Pakistan. So there was a conversation. They tried to explain the position, but Pakistan didn't listen to the Iranian explanation in that way. In reality, if I would say that the Iranian side must have known that Pakistan would definitely respond. But I believe that the Turkey and China had nothing to do in this normalization. They might have come forward. There was no statement that came perhaps from the Chinese Foreign Office. We heard that the Chinese Consul General in Karachi might have said something. But at least it should have come something from Beijing, not from Karachi, from a consul general, or even from an ambassador in Islamabad. So I think the Chinese and the Turks had nothing to do. The bilateral relations between both the countries have been very normal. And if you see the statements that came from the ISPR and the Iranians, both the countries striked each other, but you will never see a statement where both the countries are saying brotherly, friendly neighbors and Islamic countries. So they're targeting in one way, and they are saying each other brother and friendly and Islamic countries on the other way. So in my understanding, I personally believe that nobody came forward in all that. So, what is the way forward from here? I believe that all channels of communication between Iran and Pakistan, they're open. So all what should happen is that the Iranian side should take a lead. They should come forward because they were the ones who initiated this belligerence. They were the ones who were belligerent, in fact. So they should take a lead, they should talk. And even if the Pakistan had to take a lead, they should talk because Pakistan had a quid pro quo, in a tit for tat. Pakistan has just done what was in the best of the national interest of the country. So, in my understanding, both the countries will talk, they will engage, border is open, trade is going on, formal, informal trade between both the countries is going on. So in that way, things will be normal and they won't get deteriorate. And at the end of the day, the Iranians might have understood that all that what they have done, shown this belligerence, they have lost that soft power in Pakistan, particularly the Shia community, which has been very supportive of the Iranians. I have seen some of the social media messages where the Shia community in Pakistan was supporting the Iranian regime. But in reality, everyone in Pakistan knew that the Iranians should not have done this. They have lost that soft power, they have lost that sense of brotherhood, and the Iranian side felt, particularly the media response that came from Pakistan. It was a one voice from the entire country, although it is said that the entire Pakistani media is under control. And because everyone was talking when the Iranians did strike in Pakistan, except the Pakistani media, that was a huge embarrassment, and that tell that how media has been under the control of the state authorities. But in reality, the media believe that this national security conversation, they cannot initiate and lead this conversation unless they are told. So there's one response that came from the Pakistani media, and in a big way, and particularly on social media and on media, I think the Iranian side did realize that that was a huge mistake, that the Iranian side, they lost that support within Pakistan. So I think these are some of the questions which I wanted to address, and I hope things have got normalized. There is a de-escalation, and nothing will happen further. I believe. Thank you very much.